Hey YouTube, we're live now. We're also over on Kickstarter, so give us just a second and we'll get set up on Facebook and then we'll get going. Okay. All right, hi Facebook. We're live right now and we're live over on YouTube and Kickstarter as well. Just give us a second to syndicate our post real quick on our various Facebook pages and we will get started. Just a minute. Okay. Okay. All righty. Thanks everyone for tuning in. As you know, I'm Carmelo Chimera, and today I have my very special guest with me here, one of my two favorite people in the world. This is my brother, Nicholas Chimera.
Hi, how are you?
He is about as smart as I am. He's not quite as good looking as I am, but he's a lot nicer than I am, so it gets him a lot farther in life. He's also much more talented than I am, and today we're going to talk about how much more talented he is because he has a book coming out. The official release date is this Friday, December 7th, called The Crusader. But many of you may be tuning in tonight because you know we're going to be giving away a prize as well, so I want to tell you a little bit about that. As you know, Chimera's Comics rents a movie theater out once a year for whatever the biggest release is. And we all know that this year it's going to be Avengers 4. And so we have a theater at Hollywood Boulevard Cinema where you can have a full meal and drinks with the food, with the movie. And we rent a whole theater there. 100, 200 people sometimes come with us. And we take our friends, our fans, our customers for free. And we all take them to the show with us. And it's the best way to watch any of these Marvel movies. You get to sit next to people who get the jokes, who find the Easter eggs. It's the most fun we have all year. And I have a theater. We gave away some tickets at our Black Friday event. I saved some tickets for things like this. So tonight I'm going to give away 2 free tickets to our private screening of Avengers 4 on opening weekend. Now it's a little far out, so I don't have the show times yet, obviously, but I'll keep you posted as we get closer. So if you want to win tickets to Avengers 4, you just need to download your free preview of The Crusader. You can go to bit.ly/freecrusader. I put the link in our Facebook description. I'll share the link now on YouTube and on Kickstarter. And I will be monitoring our chat here. So I'll be keeping an eye between Kickstarter and Facebook and YouTube. So bear with me as I kind of bounce back and forth a little bit. Now, I realize that while we're live, only so many people get to tune in live. I know a lot of people tune into our live streams afterward. Last time, over 400 people watched our live stream from last week. By the time it finished circulating within the day. So if you watch this late and you didn't get to win Avengers tickets, stay tuned. I will have more opportunities for you to win those tickets. So I will give those away during the show. So do visit that link. Download your free preview of The Crusader. It's the first 2 chapters Nicholas agreed to share with us, plus It's got an unused cover design in there. A few of the cool drawings from the book from Danny, Danny's with us right now on Facebook. She did the cover, which we'll reveal to you in a second. And it's also got the prologue to the book in there. So do tune in, check it out. Free preview. And without further ado, I want to talk to Nicholas a little bit about it. Now, Nicholas is one of the Cellar Door creators. Those of you watching us on Kickstarter are obviously familiar with Cellar Door, successfully funded last week, over $12,000. Nicholas is the author of the short story, The Clockwork Man, that appeared in Cellar Door. But his first published work is going to be The Crusader out this Friday. So I won't be talking the whole time. I will talk to Nicholas, I promise. So, Nick, you want to show everybody the book?
Yeah, here it is. So this is the proof copy. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the not for resale banner because they knew I would try to steal it from him and sell it.
Yeah, that won't be there when you buy it.
Yeah. This is his author proof.
Side binding. Okay.
With the cover by Danny Romero. So, Danny, thank you for the awesome Crusader cover.
She did such an amazing job. Like, I love it so much because I knew, like, for a fact I wanted it to be in watercolor. Watercolor, I think, is, like, my favorite medium. And so being able to have like the superhero in watercolor with the Chicago skyline in the background, I think is just awesome.
So the book takes place in Chicago.
Yeah, I almost wanted to call it the Chicago Crusader. That's such an important part of it.
What made you want to set it in Chicago?
I think like with all like the superheroes that do exist, I wanted this one to be different in a lot of ways. And I think one of the coolest ways to do that was to have it in Chicago. Like all the Marvel superheroes, they take place in New York. And then all the DC superheroes take place in made-up cities and stuff. So, and you wrote your book, The Magnificent, which takes place in Chicago too. Right. So I think getting to show some Chicago pride, I think, is really cool.
Right.
And that kind of shows a little bit in his costume because the Chicago flag is light blue with white. And so I don't have the red stars like the Chicago flag, but because I thought gold looked really cool. I love blue and gold together. But that mostly white costume with the blue cape really reminds me of Chicago.
Now, it's funny you mention that because in early character designs of Magnificent, we actually considered the star as a symbol on his costume in a couple places.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think if we, when we get around to the Magnificent sequel, I'd like to see them on like a shoulder pad.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's cool that you mentioned that because that's the origin of this book is because like you were like coming up with different ideas for the costume for the Magnificent, and you and Stephen Brown were arguing over whether or not he should have white pants. And I thought, what if like you cut out all the blue and he just had like the white? And I'm like, the white and the red's a little too weird, but like, what if it's like all white with like blue instead of the red? And I'm like, that's really cool. And then just from that thought, I was like, that's a cool superhero right there.
So you kind of worked backward from the costume design?
Yeah, first I had the costume, then I thought about what else I would make this story different, because the costume was the only thing I had at first. And then I came up with the villain, which is the coolest part of this. And I can't say anything about it because it's like the twist ending.
So there's a twist ending in the book.
There's a twist ending in the book. The villain's my favorite character, and I can't say anything because it ruins it. But I think it's very, very new and unique, and when people read it, they're gonna read it and they're gonna go, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool."
You've got me intrigued because I've read like early drafts from years and years ago, and it's changed a lot since then. And you've already brought up a number of things I want to ask about, and I don't want to get too all over the place too quickly. So before I leave the costume behind, can you show us one of the figures to give us the full picture?
I'll show you both.
So Nicholas and I make custom action figures at Chimera's Customs, and he's done a few of the Crusader. So if you want to, here's a picture of the hero in his entirety.
So this is the action figure we made. We've been posting pictures of this online at Chimera's Customs. I got a lot of really cool pictures. And I'm going to post some pictures of him fighting the Magnificent, which is going to be really fun.
Nice.
But here it is, you can see, mostly white. You can see you guys got the blue cape. I love having like the hood with the mask over there. I think it makes him really mysterious. Like for me, like I think it's the costume that's the selling point. I think it's very like new. Like you haven't seen anything like it. And he's got like that gold C on his chest for Crusader, almost kind of like the Crusader Knight might, but like the gold color makes him very much like a knight. That's the last name for the character. His name's Patrick Knight. And then the blue is very royal, it just kind of like shows his power, and the white's like his purity.
Very cool. And can we get a look at that adorable little pop figure?
Here's the pop figure version. I love this thing. He made this for my birthday, and this is the cutest thing ever. It bobbles. A little dance.
I'm glad you like it.
So here's both of them.
It was fun to make because I have a Magnificent pop figure, so it's cool to see them side by side. Okay, so we've talked about the costume, but now you've mentioned the villain, and I want to know more about the villain. But I guess we should talk more about the hero first. I want to give a quick shout out though to Rick Villanueva with us over at Facebook. We just downloaded the preview. Thank you, Rick. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you can make it Saturday. We are having the book release party on Saturday at Chimera's Comics Oak Lawn. We'll have bookmarks to give away with the books, and Nicholas will be there. You can talk to him and have a drink with me. If you were a Cellar Door backer too, we can celebrate the publishing of Cellar Door. I'm offering a sale to anyone who buys the Crusader, which you can pre-order right now. Anyone who buys it can get 20% off their entire purchase at my store. If you're a subscriber, you can add 20% to your discount. So if you already get 10, 15%, now you're getting 30, 35% off at Chimera's Comics this Saturday if you buy a copy of the Crusader at full price. And you can pre-order it now at chimerascomics.com/Crusader. I'll run through all that again if it was too fast for everybody. But back to the book. So I want to talk about the villain, but it feels like I'm getting ahead of myself talking about the villain if we don't talk about the hero.
Yeah.
So tell me about the Crusader. Who is he? What can you tell us? What makes him different from other superheroes?
You compared the book a little bit to Smallville, which I think was a pretty good comparison. Like, what if you didn't know who Superman was? A lot of it's kind of similar to the dynamic you'd have with like a Spider-Man story. The main character is my own age. I wrote it for high schoolers, and I wrote it in the first person because I knew that like having like usually I like writing the third person better, but I thought that like this character like being able to use my own voice, I think, is just such a good like opportunity to like have right there. And so the main character is like a high school senior. He's getting ready for college soon, but he's at the weird stage where even though he's about to be an adult, he's like almost old enough to vote in like the next election. Everyone still kind of treats him like a kid, and so people like hold him to the standards of an adult, but at the same time they like hold him to like the low bar of just being like a kid. So he has like the workload of an adult, but he's just very overwhelmed with all these responsibilities, and then and he seems to be like falling behind in everything in life, and then all of a sudden he gets powers and he can fly and he's strong, and he gets a couple other powers too, and so immediately like he's like a kid. He's very fun thinking, and he thinks like I want to be a superhero. And the first thing he does, he puts a tablecloth around his neck and he runs into a burning building. But as soon as that happens, he realizes like how serious that is to be a superhero, to be going out there and to be doing the kind of things that like we pay our first responders to do. And so like he gets like a very rude awakening there.
So this kid, he means for the best. He's feeling overwhelmed. Is that something you think is a problem with a lot of teenagers? Do you think is that something you and your friends experience as being overwhelmed?
Yeah, I say definitely. I think like it's not everyone my age, but I think a good amount. I think like some kids like the only examples I really know are the kids they go to school with.
Sure.
And so those kids like either some of them they have like all the time in the world, or they don't have enough time to work on all the stuff they need to do. And so, some of the demands they can be unreasonable sometimes, being a high schooler, especially if you have to work a job too, like on top of high school.
Right.
It can quickly become insane. Like if you go to school from 7:50 to 2:45, and then afterwards you have even like one club, or you have a sport you're doing, you can maybe not be getting home until like 5 o'clock. And so that's like a 9 to 5 job, like for someone who's employed. And then after that, then it's okay, now start working on your homework. And then you're lucky to have enough time to have dinner too into that mix. And by the time you finish everything, it's back to bed to wake up to the exact same thing again.
You put it like that, it sounds like every teenager is a superhero. And it's true. We've got all these competing demands from family, from society, from school.
And most of it's put on themselves, I think.
So that's my next question is like, how much of that is everyone else putting pressure on teenagers, and how much of that is the teenager putting it on themselves, right? Like, obviously there's a certain amount of homework and things that's definitely from the school. And you also have parents in school saying like, get ready for college and you got to do good in class because you got to go to a good college. And like, but how much of that versus like your internal motivation do you think controls you?
I think most of it's probably your internal motivation, because there can be a lot of like factors in your life that are like other people telling you to be something you're not. And then you're just like, I'm not going to do that. And then maybe that forces you to lower your standards, or it can, I think for the most part, it's like the drive of the person. And you mentioned that like people can like even like high schoolers kind of seem like superheroes. I think it's funny, like every time I tell someone about the book, and it's not like a secret, or it's not like I have to hide the fact that it's a superhero novel, which I think is very cool because you only ever see like superheroes in movies or comic books. To have like a novel, to have like a young adult like fiction element, that I think is very neat.
Sure.
But as I was saying, like I think for high schooler, I think like superheroes are so like they're so commonplace now, and for like all these movies always come out, like everyone like it's cool to like superheroes now, and so these are like our heroes. These are like the people we look up to,
Yeah.
and so I think those are like the heroes that like inspire kids now to work as hard as they can, and I think that's something that they'll really connect with the Crusader then.
So you mentioned, people telling you to be something you're not, and I know that that's something that's kind of front and center in the Crusader, right? I compared it to Smallville because it's an origin story, and unlike Smallville, you always knew he was going to be Superman. And here, we don't know who the Crusader is. In fact, The first image you see of him, his back is to you on the cover. He's got a hood and a mask on. He's very mysterious, right? This is a character who could just as well be a villain, right? We don't know where he's going to end up at the end of this.
You really hit the nail on the head there, and like you were saying, like eventually, like let's go from hero and then let's talk about the villain of the story. And I think a big part of the book is the main character not becoming the villain. The point of the book is like he gets these powers, and the point is for him to not let the power get to his head. Like I use the example in the book, like when he joins like the track team and he becomes really popular, then like everyone in the school like loves him now, and so he doesn't. He kind of forgot about his friends, and then when it happens when he gets his powers now, then it's the same thing over again. You get a little bit of power, it's going to be the same exact thing as when you get like a lot of bit of power.
That's interesting because, I always thought to myself, like, oh, if only I were Superman, I would solve all these problems and like make the world a better place. But the truth is, like, I have a lot of power to make the world a better place. We all do, don't we? And it's like, if you can't be trusted with a little bit of power you have, well, what makes you think things get any easier once you can move faster than a speeding bullet? Right? So I wanted to talk more about these like competing influences on the Crusader. Who is trying to exert influence on him in the story?
In the story, there are two main characters who are trying to influence him. And the way I describe it on like when I'm giving like the elevator pitch is like these are people who he doesn't know if they're trying to take advantage of him for his powers, just trying to use him, or if maybe they're trying to. He doesn't know if he can trust him or not. And so the one character, the first person he meets, he goes out and he wants to be a superhero, and so he's on the news. And so he had like a mask on, but he's on the news, and people saw like someone flying. And so this very powerful like businessman like tracks him down. He's very much like a Bruce Wayne character, and he's he picks up a Crusader. He brings him to his office downtown, and where he's at, like he's surrounded by like material things. He's got the most beautiful office with this view of the city. And the Crusader's from like the Chicago suburbs. He's not used to being like in the city that often, and so he goes down there and he's amazed by like this character. His name's Adam, and so Adam like tells him like you're like a boy and you don't know what you're doing with your powers, but why don't you work with me and I'll show you how to become a hero. And so right off the bat, the Crusader Patrick Knight, he had no idea, he hasn't become the Crusader yet, and so Patrick thinks like this sounds like my best option because I really don't know what I'm doing. And so this guy gets to him first. And so there's kind of this idea like whoever got to him first probably would have been able to control him faster. And then eventually then he's fighting crime and this other character comes along and he claims he's from the future and he doesn't know whether or not that's true or not. But he's in this really like high-tech suit and he tells him that in the future he's a great hero and now this guy wants to like take him in and train him. So he's got like these adults in his life and so they want to like, they're like competing to use him.
Okay. And can you give us an idea of what internally motivates Patrick then that's going to help influence which way he kind of goes?
Like at his core, Patrick wants to be a hero, but what happens is like he keeps following the path of a hero, but when he gets in these scenarios, like where it really shows his true colors, he's not doing the things a hero would do. And he's trying his best. Like all he wants is to be like a superhero, but he just keeps like not knowing what the right decision is, which I think is very relatable.
Yeah, I mean, it is, right? It's like if we all knew what the right thing to do was, we would probably do it most of the time, right? So I guess that's what I find interesting about your story is it doesn't sound like he's got like an angel and a devil over his shoulder. He might, but we don't know which one's an angel and which one's a devil.
Which one's which, yeah.
And that's the thing about the first persons. We're going to take that journey with Patrick.
Yeah.
So give me a little bit of idea. What are his abilities? What can he do?
He can fly. I think usually if you see a character with a cape, you can guess he can fly. He's also strong, but I wanted to put like limitations on him to show like his relatability. So he's strong enough to maybe punch through a brick wall, but if he does it, he's going to break all the bones in his fist.
That's an interesting limitation.
Yeah. So there can be a lot of symbolism out of that alone. But he's got that. He can also heal, which I think is, that's an important part of the story. He's got he has echolocation as a power. He can he has like a kind of like Daredevil. He's got like a sense in the back of his head of where things are. It was very important for the end of the book, and I believe that's it. Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, I like that little tease about the end of the book there.
Yeah.
So I want to take a quick pause just to remind anyone who might have tuned in late or who might be watching and kind of skip through the live stream afterward. If you want to win free tickets to Avengers 4, all you need to do is download your free preview of the Crusader. Go to bit.ly/free Crusader. I will be picking the winner of 2 free tickets to our private screening before the end of the live stream. So if you haven't done so already, I put the link on YouTube, Facebook, and Kickstarter along with us here in the comments. So bit.ly/free Crusader, download your preview. I will select a winner from that list before we're done. And the Crusader is on sale this Friday, December 7th. You can pre-order your copy from chimerascomics.com/Crusader. And or come to the pre-release party, the release party this Saturday, December 8th. From 5 to 9, Nicholas will be with me at Chimera's Comics Oak Lawn. Have something to eat, have a few drinks with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a great time. So please come on out. I'm offering 20% off your entire purchase if you buy a copy of the Crusader at full price. And if you're a subscriber, I'm going to add that 20% to your subscriber discount. That means up to 35% off, depending on what your subscriber discount is, if you buy a copy of the Crusader on Saturday. So that was just for anyone.
You can also order it. Feel free to order it online, like on Amazon. You can look it up, Nicholas Chimera, the Crusader. And you can feel free, if you order it tonight, you can have it shipped to you by Saturday, bring it to the store to get signed to.
Yeah, absolutely. You can bring your copy from Amazon and get it signed. Fulfillment by Amazon is very reliable.
You'll definitely get it Saturday if you get the 2-day shipping. Yeah,
I just checked myself, and as long as people order it in the next about 3 hours or so, you'll have it by Saturday. So you can get it on Amazon as well, and you can download a Kindle copy there too if you prefer it electronically. If you get the electronic copy and you still want an autograph, I'm sure Nicholas will sign your iPad, but maybe he'd better just sign a bookmark for you instead.
Do that. I have the bookmarks here if you want to see them.
Yeah, I do want to see them. Yeah, let's show. Oh, we got one right here, right?
Oh, yeah. I got one with the signature on it.
Oh, look at that.
Here's one of the bookmarks signed.
Very nice.
So they turn out really cool. It's like the cover, and then you got the back. So
I like the wraparound. It's a good style.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit more about the Crusader. You've teased us a twist ending that I understand the nature of it is that you can't tell us much more about it. Can you give me an idea of what the villain, whoever the secret villain really is? What is? Give me like a window. What's their motivation? Like, what are they looking to do here? Is it world domination? Is it world destruction? Is this a character who seeks personal gain? Do they have some vision for the world? Who am I looking for here?
I'm gonna go with total annihilation of everything.
Total annihilation.
That's what I'm gonna go with.
All right. Well, okay. So this is gonna have a pretty cosmic scale, which reminds me that this is a part of the start of a bigger universe. You imagine? Is that right?
Yeah.
Can you give me an idea of sort of why is this the starting point? Why are we starting your universe here at the Crusader?
I think because it's one of the few stories that takes place right now. One of the interesting things I want to try, like whenever I write stories, particularly like this universe I'm trying to build of superheroes and books, is what are like different heroes like in different time periods. And so right now, you think of a hero, he's got a flashy cape and he's got these suits, he's got tights on, he's like saving people from buildings and stuff.
Right.
But if it's like the 1920s, you think of a hero that's like a noir detective or someone like that. And if it's in the future, it's some sort of like godlike spaceman.
I see.
All of which are characters in my head.
Very good. I like that. So I want to do a little flash round to get to know the Crusader better, okay? I want you to answer these questions as fast as you think you can, all right? Everybody, you ready for me? And if anybody has suggestions, throw them out there because here comes my flash round. Are you ready? I'm going to ask you, who would win in a fight, the Crusader or Spider-Man?
The Crusader.
The Crusader. Why is that?
He's stronger.
He's a lot stronger?
He's probably a lot stronger.
All right, so who would win in a fight, the Crusader or Superman?
Oh, Superman.
Superman. So he's stronger than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Not as strong as Superman. Okay,
Right
very good. And who would win in a fight, the Crusader or Iron Man?
Ooh, that's tough. I would go with Iron Man because in this book he's the Crusader's very untrained. He's still trying to figure out his powers.
Okay.
And I think Iron Man, if he can take on Thanos, he can take on the Crusader.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Or who would win in a fight, the Crusader or the Magnificent?
Probably Magnificent.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is it a training thing or is it the? All right, I'm talking about high school Magnificent, not
high school Magnificent. He would wipe the floor with.
Wipe the floor with
after the book. Then
oh man! All right, this is pretty.
Once the Magnificent realizes all the cool stuff he can do, then yeah.
So I got to make sure we do a Magnificent Crusader crossover before you become more famous than me, and then I can't license the Crusader.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
We got to make sure we get that in there. So I want to open it up. First of all, anybody has questions about Nicholas, about the Crusader, please feel free to chime in. Nicholas, I'm going to switch topics a little bit in a minute, but before I do, is there anything else you want to say about the novel? Anything you want to say about the book release on Saturday? Anything you want to tell people?
Just that I've been working on this for a very long time. I started writing it in my freshman year of high school, which is like 3 years ago now. 2 years ago? I don't know. But so I've been working on this for a while. I sent it to the publisher last year. So I spent all of my junior year of high school just going back and forth with them, editing with them. They've been amazing to work with. They're called Gen Z Publishing. Now it's finally coming out, and I'm just super excited for people to read it because it's always been like a story in my head. It's always been like me in this room just typing. So I'm excited to have like people read the story and be able to like converse about it.
That's wonderful to hear. Very good. So I want to switch topics just a little bit because I want to talk about you. I think, getting people to know a new author is as important as getting them to know their work, right? A lot of people are Stephen King fans, not just like It fans.
Right.
So I want people to know you a little bit. Tell us, you're a senior at Brother Rice High School?
Yep.
And what kind of clubs and things do you do at Brother Rice?
I do everything there. I do too much. I do.
Sounds like someone I know.
I'm the treasurer of the student council, which is fun.
You are?
Yeah, you know.
No, I didn't.
Okay. So that's fun. We get to do cool stuff. We just plan like events and stuff for the school.
Okay.
Then what else do? I do game day and broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
If you're familiar with Brother Rice, you'll also know the guys in the orange blazer. It's very like college football kind of thing, but like we've got just like these orange blazers with the BR. It's very like flashy, and so we'll do like game days before because we live stream all our sporting events, all like the home football games, basketball games.
Cool.
That's a lot of fun. I got to learn a lot about like editing and stuff, making videos, which is really cool. And I took the broadcasting class my sophomore year. I took it again my junior year. In my junior year, I got to be like a team leader, which means I almost kind of basically taught the class.
Wow.
Then what else do? I do drama club. Drama club's been my favorite thing I've done all 4 years.
Yes.
We pick like movies and stuff, and then we just do them. It's really fun, very like relaxed.
And which films have you done so far?
I'm gonna choose not to say which films we've done so far, so we don't get
so as to avoid copyright infringement. Very good.
Yeah. So drama club's the best. I'm directing our play this year, which is really cool. So that's in March. I'm really excited about that.
And the play you're directing?
Question mark.
Question mark. Yeah, very good.
Question
I like
mark
that's
the
good.
play.
Yeah, that's good.
But it's gonna be cool. It's
question mark the play.
Yeah, which fits with what it actually is.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really terrific.
That's in March. That's March 7th, 8th, and 9th. So that's gonna be really fun.
Cool.
It's like a murder mystery kind of thing. It might be based off of a board game. Anyway, what else do I do at Brother Rice? I've done the politics club since my freshman year. That's very relaxed. That's like we just go and we like talk about what's going on. We only meet like a couple times a year.
You don't talk about politics with me.
I just go and listen.
Oh, you just go and listen.
I'm still learning about it.
You're the journalist. You
I'm trying to take everything in.
Take it in, huh?
Then
I gotta be careful. You take too much in, you're gonna end up a libertarian like our brother. There's a third one of us, believe it or not, but you won't be seeing him anytime soon. He does not write fiction.
No, yeah, he would never go on a live stream. That'd be funny.
It's like a stone. Vincenzo is like me, but without a sense of whimsy.
Yeah.
So continue, please. It sounds like we're not close to done yet.
What else do I do?
Sports? Do you do any sports?
No sports in school, but I do martial arts outside of school, which is a very important part of my life.
And you hold a black belt in Taekwondo, is that right?
Yep, I got that when I was like 12. And then like a few months after I got my black belt, we went to the same place. He has one too, and then it closed like right after I got mine. And so that was kind of sad. No, so I stopped for a couple of years, and then I found like an awesome place, and I do the traditional Okinawan karate now, which I love, which I also just got my brown belt in. I've been doing that for 2 years, like 2.5 years now.
Congratulations! It's very impressive.
Yeah.
Do you find your studies influences your fiction at all? Your martial arts studies?
Yeah, there's a lot of because there's like that superhero like action element in the Crusader. Most of I try and make the fighting in it very realistic.
No, very good.
And I try and give like different characters their own kind of style.
Cool. So this is also not your first work of fiction. We have done a few movies together. You want to tell everybody about some of the movies we've made, some of the movies you've made? I know you've also made a few documentaries.
Most of what I've done is like in school. I did our principal in my school, Mr. Antos, an awesome, wonderful dude. He retired last year, and so me and one of my buddies, Dan, in that school, we made a documentary on him. It's how long was it? I think it was 15 minutes. Was it an hour? I don't know. But we made a pretty lengthy documentary, and it got a couple thousand views on the Brother Ice YouTube page. But that was fun to do a documentary on our principal. That's one of the coolest things I've done. Got to learn a lot about him. And what are some of the other videos I've done? A lot of commercials for the stores. If you usually watch like a commercial for Chimera's Comics, I probably made it, if it's good.
Nicholas does all of our Kickstarter videos. He did everything from the Chimera's Comics community Kickstarter and everything from the Cellar Door Kickstarter as well.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of skills to pack into a 17-year-old.
And then we just made The Offering as a cute little Halloween short. We did that with our cousin. She was amazing.
It was the best.
You gotta watch The Offering.
Yeah, and I think we learned something very important is that no matter what kind of marketing we do, putting an adorable little kid in a video gets more views than anything else we could have come up with.
And it doesn't matter if it's like a demon or Satan himself. If you see like a little girl laugh, it's so adorable.
It's so cute. Yeah. The Offering was excellent. A quick reminder for anyone who's just tuning in, if you want to win tickets to Avengers 4, just download your free 2-chapter preview of the Crusader over at bit.ly/freecrusader. I'll give away the tickets at the end of the hour, which is not to force you to watch, though I hope you do. It's because I want to give everybody their chance to enter. If you've already downloaded your free preview, then you're already entered. Don't worry about it. If you're not present to win, that's fine. I will email you. But I hope you'll continue to stay with us a little bit as we talk a little bit about the Crusader and Nicholas's writing. So, Nicholas, last week we were successful with Cellar Door. I say we because you were one of the creators. You did the videos, and you wrote the short story, The Clockwork Man. Yeah. Can you tell everybody a little bit about your Clockwork Man story in Cellar Door?
Oh, it's really screwed up because it's nothing like the Crusader. Because he told me write something really scary, write like a horror thing, and I love just like monster movies. And so we came up with this monster together, and then I kind of gave him like a history. But his name's The Clockwork Man. He's got this plague doctor mask. Really scary stuff.
We did a video, right?
Yeah, you can learn more about it there.
I thought the Clockwork Man, and I haven't read the final draft of the Crusader. In fact, I haven't read most drafts of this version.
No, only 2 people have read this so far. Just me and my editor.
You and your editor. So I know very little about how it turned out here, but I remember reading your writing when you were like a kid. Yeah. And then I read your Clockwork Man story. I got one paragraph in, and I grabbed my wife Christine, and I said, Chris, you got to read this first paragraph. This is how this works. You got to see this. And I remember I gave him notes because I edited the Cellar Door. I gave him notes on it. At one point, I circled a paragraph and I wrote "brutal" next to it. That was pretty good. But the reason I mentioned Cellar Door is because you're going to be twice published at 17, which is impressive. Yeah. I want to know. As soon as Cellar Door was done, while I was doing the last live stream last week, everyone kept saying, "What about Cellar Door 2? When is that?" And I'm like, I'm ready to pass out from doing this Kickstarter, and people want to talk about a sequel, which is flattering. It's like super awesome. Yeah. But I'm like, man, I gotta finish this one. So now I gotta do it to you. What's next after the Crusader? Are we writing our next book or what?
Yeah, next is gonna be called The Custodian of Justice, and it's gonna be a 1920s noir.
1920s noir. I like that. Is this another superhero story?
Yeah.
And it's in the same universe.
Definitely. I mentioned a time traveling character in the Crusader who may or may not be in that one too.
If I were a gambling man, and I'm not, I would put money on May.
Mm-hmm.
What else can you tell us about your universe? Are you building to something here? What are we? Are we just establishing characters to see where it goes? Do you want to take it one step at a time? I know you want to explore time a little bit, at least in terms of how that affects the heroes. Well, what can you tell us about your universe?
I could probably wrap it all around in 5 books.
Nice.
I want to do this one as a prequel, and prequels I think like aren't always great because it's like you already know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's a prequel about a totally different character, like 70 years ago, 80, 90 years ago. Yeah, 80. And it's got its own story, but it slowly builds up and connects to the bigger thing I want to work on.
Okay, very cool. Tell me, Nicholas, what are some of the books you're reading right now or have read recently that you would recommend to viewers?
My favorite book, the best book I've ever read is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I think that's the greatest book ever, besides the Bible. But just like the Mary Shelley's writing style, I think like that's like the highest bar that like people should be holding their writing to. I think is like the best thing because just it reads like poetry, but like it's prose. So whenever I'm writing, I think like how would Mary Shelley kind of put this?
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nicholas and I share a edition of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. It's gorgeously illustrated by Bernie Wrightson.
Fantastic.
Rest in peace. And it's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And the reason I bring it up that we have that same edition is because I didn't read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein until my second year of college.
Yeah.
So you're ahead of the curve on me.
Well, it's funny because like a lot of kids like in my grade right now, like the other seniors playing English class they're in, like they just finished reading Mary Shelley, her Frankenstein, and the entire time I'm like, it's my favorite book, it's awesome. Like, what are you talking about? This like sucks. And I'm like, it sucks because you're reading it for school. Because if I had to read that book for school, I would have hated it. So I'm really glad I decided to read it before I had to.
Nice. I'm glad to hear that. So something that interested me about Frankenstein is that Frankenstein is, it's a fantasy sci-fi book really about, raising this creature from the dead, about creating life. But there's more than that, right? The reason that book has survived for, what is it, 200?
200 years. I just had the 200th anniversary.
It just had the 200th anniversary. But this book survived 200 years because it's about Victor Frankenstein playing God. It's about this tension between man and creator. To me, it's about a fundamental question of what it means to be a human, which is like, where do I come from and what does my life mean? Yeah. And the creature can actually meet his maker and gets the very disappointing answer that, oh, I made you because I can't.
Yeah.
My question to you is, those fundamental philosophical questions that sustain the great works throughout history, did it person?
Yeah, I think so. Now I'll expand. I think like there's so many books out there. I think like there's more books than like there is like time to read all of them.
That's true.
And so like there's no reason to write a book unless you don't have anything good to say. Like it shouldn't just be about the story. Like there's so many great stories out there now. I think like you should only be writing like this is a self-quote of mine because I came up with this, but I think like quality writing is just an extension of quality thought. And so if you want a good book, like you have to have like some deeper stuff to that. It can't just be about your story. Like you have to be trying to hit at some like big ideas there.
Wow. I'm going to use that quote when I advertise this live stream after it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Quality writing is an extension of quality thought. That's a good point.
What does it matter if like you can write like really well if like you're just BSing for pages and pages and pages at a time?
That's a really good point, right? So
like what happens after you finish a book? Like what do you become by that? Like you just read the story. Was it just for entertainment? It can be, but like maybe you learn a valuable lesson in there.
Interesting. How do you think a story can teach someone a valuable lesson without preaching to them?
Subtlety. I think there should be like one consistent theme throughout the book, but there can be other little motifs in there.
Yeah.
But I think like you should, when you're writing it, like the entire time you should be saying to yourself, like, am I conveying the theme right there? Like, does this have anything to do with like what I'm trying to like teach people? Because like maybe people are like forget who the Crusader is like in 100 years.
Sure.
But like maybe like the people who read it now, like they'll learn something good, or maybe make them just like a little bit happier.
I like that. You know, you add a little bit more to the pile of good in the world, right?
Yeah.
Something you said kind of struck a chord with me there, and it made me wonder, what is the theme of the Crusader? If you had to sum up what it means.
So I start the book with this quote here, if it's readable at all. It's from Abraham Lincoln. It says, "Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power." And so the point of that is like, what happens when someone gets power? I said before, like you get a little bit of power, you're gonna have the same results when you get a lot of bit of power. You're gonna react the exact same way.
Right.
And so this book's all about. It's not just about like another superhero story. It's about like when this kid gets these powers, like does it change him into a totally different person, or does it reveal who like he really is?
That's very good. I like that a lot. That's actually something I personally do in my writing, Nick, is I try to make sure that at least at one point I say the theme.
Yeah.
I think subtlety is important. I think like beating people over the head with it is like a problem. You know, for instance, in Spider-Man, every writer throws in there with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, and he's worded it a little differently.
Right. Stan Lee said it once. Yeah. One time. He didn't mean it to be a catchphrase. He said it, and then the rest of his Spider-Man stories for like 3 years just resonated with it, right? Yeah. But I do think it's important to say it at least once, because even if people take other things from the book, they should at least know what you were trying to get across, right?
Yeah.
I also have a warning for you. When the book is done, if you didn't say it, it didn't happen. I hate when people say like, director confirms, author confirms. You had a chance to confirm. Yeah. You put it in here.
And then there's set in stone now.
Yeah. If you didn't put it in here, then it's open to interpretation.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and until you write a sequel and clean it up, your opinion is just one more opinion. So I hope you got it all in there.
Yeah.
Nick, if you could write any superhero, like if you could write a different character that wasn't your own, who would you write?
Maybe the Green Arrow.
The Green Arrow?
Yeah, he's my favorite.
It's awesome.
Next to Spider-Man.
Yeah, next to Spider-Man. I get it. Yeah. We're growing up in a great era where Green Arrow is a household name. I think is pretty awesome. So
I think it's funny because like when I was like in grammar school, like, my favorite superhero is Spider-Man. And then like I go through high school and I come out my favorite superhero is the Green Arrow.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot to love about both those characters. Since we've got a bunch of geeks in the audience, we got a couple of geeky things I want to hit real quick. Captain Marvel trailer, what'd you think?
That was awesome. Just seeing her like blowing up all those little ships at the end.
Right? Oh my god, yes. Awesome. When she goes, I'm not gonna fight your war, I was on the edge of my seat like, I'm gonna end it. And then she said it. I was so excited.
I saw a funny meme. I don't understand it at all. I think it was really funny though. But like, there's that like 15-second ending of the trailer with like Nick Fury like drooling over this cat, and then like the meme was like, "This cat's gonna kill Thanos. You watch."
That's hilarious. So that was the Captain Marvel trailer. We were supposed to get an Avengers trailer today.
They're just leading us along.
Which our ticket giveaway was supposed to coincide with the trailer. Remember, bit.ly/free Crusader. Download your free preview of the Crusader, and you could win tickets to see Avengers at the end of the hour. But they pushed it back for George Bush's funeral, which was today. So obviously, like,
that's why they pushed it.
They did, yeah. So like, I obviously really wanted that trailer today. And on the other hand, a person died. So I'm like, not only that, Spider-Man trailer comes out this Saturday.
Yeah.
So like one after the other. We've been waiting months, and they're going to release all 3 in a week.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man one frustrates me, though, because like they're not even pretending he's going to stay dead.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Though I don't know how they would have kept it from being in production.
Because like we know what's going to happen, but like, are they like? There's no universe where like that movie's like it's not an important part of it that he just died.
It better, absolutely. So, it better be.
I hope the trailers will give anything away.
Yeah. I don't know how they won't. Other geeky things. We're getting ready for the Elseworlds crossover at the CW.
It's gonna be awesome.
You excited about it?
Yeah, I can't wait.
What are you looking forward to most?
Like, I freaked out like when I heard like what it was gonna be, and I just like went on Instagram and I saw Stephen Amell posted like the picture of him in the Flash suit. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, I see his posted fan art, and then like the caption, like, this is not fan art.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool.
Did you see that people then did make fan art? They switched like Like the vibe with Killer Frost.
Oh, that's funny.
Like,
it's funny because like I've seen like photoshopped images like people have done like where they switch their heads and I'm like, all right, that's dumb. And then I'm like, they actually do it. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Excited for Batwoman.
Yeah, that's gonna be really cool. She looks super awesome.
She looks great.
I've been playing a lot of the Batman Arkham Knight game recently because I've had no more time, and like I've been playing a lot as Batwoman. Oh no, not Batwoman. Who they put in there? The DLC was Batgirl.
Yeah.
Because they got like the same kind of costume. So that's fun to play as.
That's neat. Did you notice we were just watching Arrow the other night and they had like a stinger at the end for Elseworlds, and they showed a lot of heroes from different worlds.
Yeah.
We think we spotted the Smallville Green Arrow.
It's definitely him. Yeah.
It's him, right?
I looked it up.
Did anybody else see that?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That's so cool.
Now, you said Stephen Amell said there was going to be a Smallville teaser. Do you think that's what he meant, or is there something else in the actual crossover?
I hope that's not all it is, because I love Smallville. I watched all 10 seasons, so I hope like there's something else. Like I'd love to see Tom Welling as Superman come back, or even the other, just now released Green Arrow because he was super cool too.
Yeah, I mean, really, any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, what's cool is this establishes that, yes, they're in the same multiverse.
Yeah.
Personally, maybe some of you have heard this. I want them to do an episode of The Flash where Barry pops into an episode of Smallville. So we'd be on Smallville like season like 17 or 18 right now. I want it to be one episode of Smallville season 18. And Flash happened to pop in. It should have the Smallville opener. It should have the same but it's like as if we've missed 7 seasons of Smallville. Where are they now? And he should just pop in for an episode and do a reunion that way. You know?
That'd be great.
But failing that, I would take Tom Welling's Superman and Mike Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor.
Oh, I'd love to see
in
him
a crossover.
Yeah, so cool.
It'd be awesome. I mean, they're building a Crisis on Infinite Earths at this point. They've got the monitor clearly, so I wouldn't put it past them to play. Yeah. So that was my digression a little bit, but I want to bring it back to the Crusader. What superheroes influenced you most in writing the Crusader?
The most, probably, I would call him like a mix between Spider-Man, Superman, and the Green Arrow.
Spider-Man, Superman, and the Green Arrow. Very good. What did you take from Spider-Man?
Just that's like the fact that he's like a high schooler.
Okay, and what did you take from Superman?
Just like what I love about Smallville and like the best Superman stories are like how they like he's like this godlike alien, like particularly like Kingdom Come, but Smallville too. But he's got like he's so powerful, and it's about him just having to like control that, and like he's always holding back, which I think's really cool.
So that's interesting because like on Smallville, you have this tension of him like holding back and pushing himself. And he's like holding back, doesn't hurt anybody.
Right.
Then it turns out he's way stronger than he thought he was.
Yeah.
And now he needs to hold back even more.
Yeah.
And so on until we get to Superman. So what did you take from the Green Arrow?
The hood and just like maybe a little bit of like the way like he fights people, and probably the bigger thing is like the way like they reveal like they're villains in that show.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. So that was something I love about the CW, which, by the way, we've got to catch up on Flash.
Yeah.
Is like that first season, the reveals with Merlin, the reveals with Eobard Thawne and the reverse flat. That stuff was awesome. Yeah. So I still have 10 minutes before I give away these tickets to Avengers 4. So if you haven't already done so, do sign up at bit.ly/freecrusader. Get your free 2-chapter preview of the Crusader. And I will pick a winner from there in just a few minutes. So if there's still a few people with us over on Facebook and YouTube, if you guys have any questions for Nicholas, please throw them out there because it'll really help me fill this last few minutes. Otherwise, we can thumb wrestle or something like that. Maybe flip a coin for a little while, see which has tails. No, I'm kidding. So
you were talking about like Superman, how like he's always learning like how like much more powerful he is, and how like he's always learning how he has to keep holding back more every time he learns how much more powerful he is.
Right.
But so I think like one of my favorite scenes in like the book. It's one of the more violent parts where like he's like the first time he's like fighting like these criminals, and like they're like minding like this couple in an alley. And so like he puts his costume on. It's actually a different costume than what's on the cover. And so he goes to fight these people, and this kid's like 17, 18, and these are just like hardened like criminals who are like robbing someone. And so he's like terrified as soon as he starts fighting these people, and like the point of the scene is that like he hurts them. He goes like way too hard because he's scared and he can't like stop himself.
Right.
But like he just hurts these monitors like way too much. And so when he leaves, and then like later they mention like he doesn't know like if they're dead, if they're in like the hospital, like, and he really screwed them up. And so like that part's like showing that it's one of like the turning points where he realizes like he has to be like a little better.
Nice. I like that. That's very good. It's quite the learning curve.
Yeah, like with like that power, like he's gotta make sure it's not turning him into something more violent. Because like as a teenager, he's got like his anger issues, and
Right.
so like if I get mad, well, if like a normal teenager gets mad, there's not much they can do. But like if you've got superpowers, then you can like really hurt somebody.
Right.
So that's why he has to stop that.
Yeah, your temper tantrums get a lot worse, right? Mm-hmm. If the Crusader were here with us right now, if your creation were alive and with us,
I mean, I wrote him like it was me.
What would you tell him if you had him? What would you tell him if he was in front of you? Would you give him some advice? Would you give him a warning?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to be his friend, but like, what would I tell him? Depends on like which point in the story.
At the end of the story, you meet the Crusader.
I'd be like, "You got this. It's gonna get better."
Is it gonna get better?
No.
Oh.
But I would tell him that it would be.
Nice. That's a loving creator. We got another comment there from Rick Villanueva. He says, "Kudos, Nick, for channeling your creative energies.
Thanks,
Your character
man.
sounds like one that a lot of folks can relate to." Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it. Rick had some questions for us here. I see we're behind on the chat a little bit. How much of your own experience influenced the Crusader? Specifically, any incidents that made their way into the story?
That's a really good question. You're awesome. That's awesome. Specific incidents in my life that like made it into the story. Well, like I mentioned that like martial arts are really important to me personally. So anytime there's like any fighting in the story, I try and make that as realistic as possible. The main character, like one of my favorite parts is right in like the second chapter, so you can read that in the free preview. And like this is one paragraph, it's really funny. Like my editor, like she's very like mostly businessy. Is very like she's very strict with her edits and stuff, and she's awesome. Like the book's so much better just because of her. But one of her edits, like it was one of the only times she did this, and she's like highlighted the paragraph, and she's like, "This is awesome." And it, like he's staying up really late. He described like his schedule, how hectic his schedule was. Like he got home at like 6 o'clock after like being at track, and then like he had dinner, and then right after he started his homework, and it's like 11:30. It's about to be midnight, and he's still working on like his history outlines. And so like it was funny because like while I was writing the book, like I had my history book there, and so like I say like in there, like he mentions which chapter he's outlining, and so like I looked through for the most boring chapter I could, and I threw that in there. So that was really, it's like the ferment of culture or something. It's really funny though, but yeah. So that part was like dead on because like I had just finished my history outline and my hand was cramping and that vein in my forehead was coming back from every time I did that outline. And then right after that I went into like working on the book, and I was like, this is perfect.
Nice. So again, I apologize to everybody who didn't whose comments I didn't get to yet. The Facebook scroll is supposed to update as we go, and I just got all these updates at once here. Real quick, Rick Villanueva called out Brother Rice. He's from Mount Carmel, class of '96.
Oh, no.
And I just want to say, Rick, at least none of us went to Marist.
Yeah.
Then Danny Romero wants to know your 3 favorite superheroes or comic characters. And I'm guessing it's Spider-Man, Superman, and Green Arrow.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Very good. So let's see. Hey, let's give a shout out to Rick's son, Isaac. Isaac Villanueva does Taekwondo as well.
Awesome, man.
Keep hang in there. How long did it take us to get our black belts in Taekwondo?
7.
It's a long time, but it's worth it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And what do you think you gain from martial arts that Isaac will gain if he sticks with it?
You get a lot of discipline. I think from Taekwondo in particular, I gained like a lot of flexibility, which is awesome. So, being flexible is very important. And speed's always stronger than strength. So focus on being fast, not strong.
Yeah, I like that. That's good advice.
Go with that. And there's lots of cool stuff you can. I've read like a lot of books on martial arts and just like the philosophies of it. It really rounds out what you're teaching if you're looking at those philosophies.
Very good. Another question from Rick is, Nick, what would be your dream who would be your dream collaborator?
Collaborator.
If you could work with a different writer or an artist on a project, who would you work with?
like if it was an artist, I'd probably
Or
Alex
filmmaker.
Ross.
Alex
If it
Ross,
was,
yeah.
A writer. I don't know many.
Maybe
writers.
filmmaker if you were.
Filmmaker. I think Chris Nolan should do the Crusader movie. I think he would like it.
That's right, guys. So anybody 6 Degrees of Separation, if you know Chris Nolan,
Yeah, he'd do a good job.
have him give me a call.
He'd be my pick.
Yeah. Let's just shoot the bar high. Again, apologies to everyone whose comments we might have missed.
And Stephen Amell should be He should be one of the characters. He should be the.
Can he be the time traveler?
Yeah,
Nice.
I call him the last time agent. That's what we should. I want him in the story. I love him.
All right, so directed by Chris Nolan, written by Nicholas Chimera,
Yeah.
starring Stephen Amell.
And me, I'm gonna play the Crusader.
Nicholas is the Crusader,
Yeah, I'll do
and
all
with
my
poster
own
art
stunts.
by Alex Ross.
Yeah.
And you'll do all your own stunts.
Yeah.
Excellent. So who can
That's the
I
fun
can I get a part in this? Or am
Oh.
I going to be like a grip?
We'll film something with you and then we'll just cut it.
Gonna
And
throw a
then-
bone at your old
And
brother?
then it'll make it like an extended cut years later.
The Carmelo Chimera cut.
Yeah, and you'll be the only one like yelling out, like release the Chimera cut. That's the only difference is that
That's the only difference. Is my seat. Well, all my fans will buy it then. All five fans. Robert O'Neill, who's my buddy from the Cult Classic Action Show, which I host now, he said, "Did you find writing easy? I myself am an IMDb accredited screenwriter and have just started reading graphic novels." So yes, Rob O'Neill did write a horror movie with the guys from the Cult Classic Horror Show that's coming out.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
right. And he wants to know, so do you find the writing process to be easy?
If you care about the story, yes, you have to care about the story, and it can't just be like you gotta write something people buy or want to see, but like you gotta write something that's like important to you, and it's gotta have like important messages that you think are like important for other people to see.
I really like that.
So it's easy if it's important to you.
We have a question over on YouTube. Chaos Knight wants to know, will Nicholas be seeing the new Into the Spider-Verse movie?
Oh, I can't wait for that. That's gonna be cool. Like the animation style looks like the same kind of like animation from like the Spider-Man MTV show with like Neil Patrick Harris, so like the 2000s. I love the animation of that show. It's so like cool and like very like modern. It's like very Art Deco, like those colors, how bright they are. So Into the Spider-Verse looks great, and John Mulaney's being Spider-Ham, and that's reason not to see
That's
it.
the best. When I heard his voice,
That's the only reason you need to see it.
oh my god, I lost my mind.
I was watching the trailer for that, and I'm like, "The John Mulaney."
Yeah, as soon as I heard it, I was like, who plays that voice?
First, I'm like, Spider-Ham's in this. I'm like, John Mulaney Spider-Ham. I gotta see it.
And now, did you hear they're doing a spin-off movie about Spider-Gwen too already?
Awesome. A
Yeah.
cartoon.
Yeah,
That sounds great.
Yeah, in the same
Yeah.
style. I can't wait.
That's cool.
I'm super stoked.
Another character with a hood.
Hoods, they're coming back.
Hoods and masks.
Hoods and masks, though the Green Arrow abandoned
He's
his hood.
wearing neither now.
He's got neither, yeah.
He doesn't need-
Rob O'Neill says he would love to collaborate with the Chimera brothers on his Kevin Costner time travel screenplay. He's a big fan of Kevin Costner. If you haven't listened
Is it gonna be like what was that movie with Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt? What was that called?
Looper. Yeah.
Well,
Rob, who would you cast as young Kevin
Kevin
Costner in the Looper?
to go back in time to like kill himself.
That's right. In the Kevin Costner time travel, who plays young Kevin Costner?
I don't know why that came to mind. But
Well, I wish these comments had loaded sooner. We've got a lot of good questions from the crowds. So if you guys have any more questions, please throw them out there. I'm going to go ahead and pick the winner of the Avengers ticket. So don't mind me while I'm typing here on the side. Nicholas and I will still keep an eye on your questions here. I'm just going to go ahead over to the list of people who entered. And we're going to pull up the list in real time.
Real time.
Yeah, real time.
Real time, not fake time.
Not fake time, real time. All right.
Organic
Rob says Kevin Costner would play every role.
time.
So,
a one-man
okay,
show.
one man show.
Time travel version of Castaway.
Nice. Yeah,
Okay.
time travel castaway. I
He's
like
stuck
it.
on the moon or something.
No, he's stuck like in a time island or something.
Time
like that.
Island.
Yeah.
That's the name of the
exactly.
movie, Time Island. And it'll go straight to DVD. Not even Blu-ray release.
Oh, brutal. Brutal.
Time Island. It's a bad name.
Time Island's a great name.
Time Island. There's
Yeah.
no time there.
Life has no meaning in a place where time has stopped.
Ooh, there you go.
See, this shit just
Now
comes
it's good.
to me, you know? All right, don't let the kids watch this part of it. I swear already. All right, let's see if I can. I said the S word. Oh, I'm sorry. I said it for you, Nick. Your mom.
Skipped it.
All right, let's see here. I got tags of people here. Let's see if I got this worked right. All right. Theoretically, the good folks over at MailChimp have been keeping track for me of everybody who's downloaded the Crusader preview. And it looks like we have a list. A lot of these are, I get a lot of bots signing up on our site here. So yeah, I know it's kind of throws me off a little bit here. But
there's no bots allowed on Time
No
Island.
bots allowed on Time Island. So I'm gonna do. We're gonna export. Give me guys like 5 minutes. If you have questions for Nicholas, he'll take them while I'm doing this. I've just got to export all the potential winners here, and we're gonna get them into a random name picker here over on Google. Robert says, if I win the tickets, they need to include first-class tickets to Chicago. I think maybe Rob just got disqualified from the ticket contest. But Rob, if you were going to come visit Chicago for one of our screenings, that'd be the time to do it. Kevin Costner, up ahead, that's the future. Back there, that's the past. This here, this is the present. It's good. I like that. Chaos Knight wants to know if we're excited for the Elseworlds crossover. We did talk about that a little bit ago. I could not be more excited for it myself.
I can't wait to see and I love that they still know who they were, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
I watched there's a new trailer and they're calling him they got both the Flash and the Arrow and they say Barry and they're both looking. I thought that was funny.
That's awesome.
And then one of the shots he was in the Flash suit and he's yelling at the Green Arrow, who's Barry Allen now. And just seeing the Arrow's personality still being there with the Flash, I think is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
I saw a funny little drawing someone did and they made a meme out of it, and it was a picture of it's Barry, actual Barry Allen back in his Flash suit after the Elseworlds crossover, and it's all baggy and stuff, and they made fun of how jacked Stephen Amell is. So much bigger now, it's doesn't fit Grant Gustin.
Yeah, but do you like how the Green Arrow costume is one size fits all?
Yeah, it just fits everyone perfectly.
Fits Oliver fine, fits Diggle fine. You know Diggle's bigger than Oliver.
Yeah.
We've met Diggle. He punched me in the arm. Super handsome.
They probably made a lot of different suits for him.
Yeah, they probably did. But in the show, though, he just happens to have. They just happen to fit.
Well, different universe.
And I think they make a different universe in Elseworlds, but in the Arrow show, when Diggle first puts on the suit, he just has no problem.
Oh yeah. Well, this is the first time in season 1. He's got the season 1 suit on. Fits him. It's really tight.
Alrighty, so we're gonna let's see. I got my list here of potential winners coming up here. 2 seconds. You guys are being very patient here as we're picking our winner in real time, so that's does obviously add a little bit of adds a little bit of delay. So I do appreciate you guys being patient as I pick our winner. Okay.
Something interesting on Instagram, I put out a poll on our Chimera's Customs page. It has 12,000 views. And so I put out a poll, what's better, the Batman Arkham Knight video game or the new Spider-Man PS4 video game? And double the votes got the Spring Spider-Man game apparently.
As the better game?
Yeah.
Wow.
Twice as many people think it's that Spider-Man game. I thought that was interesting. Those Batman games are awesome. So yeah, granted for you.
Very nice. All right, so here's the deal, everybody. I have 1,500 entrants because I get a lot of spam bots on my website. So I'm going to enter them into a random name picker. And I'm
good until it's a name.
I'm going to click it until it's a real name. We're basically disqualifying everybody from @QQ.com and @123. What is this one here? @163.com and Cena.com. You're all horrible robots.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what we got here. Nope, not that one. If I don't get it in 5 tries, I'm gonna do this some other way. Not that one. Ugh, not that one either. All right, hang on, let's try this again. I got an idea. Perfect. Excellent. All right. Without further ado, or anime. Okay, here we go. All right, the winner of the free tickets to see Avengers 4 with us, email Spiritual Cat 2010, Catherine. Congratulations, Catherine, the Spiritual Cat. You are the winner of 2 free tickets to see Avengers 4. Thank you very much for downloading your free preview of The Crusader. Does anyone have any final questions or comments for Nicholas?
The Spiritual Cat should be another superhero.
The Spiritual Cat should be another superhero. I like that. I want to remind everybody, please, you can pre-order Nicholas's book. You can go to Amazon and get The Crusader. You can go to chimerascomics.com/Crusader and pre-order it.
Yep.
We're having the pre-release, the release this Saturday at Chimera's Comics Oak Lawn from 5 to 9.
Yep.
Nicholas and I will be there. Come hang out with us.
Yep. And
thank you all for watching.
Don't really like it, but yeah, go on Amazon, look up The Crusader by Nicholas Chimera. They'll come up. There's a paperback version. $15.99.
Yeah, definitely. Please, if you can get it from Amazon, will be great because it helps new readers discover The Crusader. When it gets a certain number of sales, Amazon starts to feature it. Yeah. So please do check it out there. And hope to see you guys on Saturday. Remember, if you buy a copy of The Crusader at full price, you get 20% off your entire purchase at my store, Chimera's Comics, on Saturday. And if you're a subscriber, I'll add the 20% to your subscriber discount. So once again, congratulations to Catherine, the Spiritual Cat. I will email you about your tickets. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to Rick and Danny and Guy and Robert for all the awesome questions and interaction. If you missed our live stream, tune on. You can replay it in just a few minutes. Nicholas and I talk about his book, talk about his influences, talk about our favorite superheroes.
We should do this again.
We should do this again. This is fun, isn't it? It's one thing when we sit here talking to the camera. It's another when we can interact with people.
Yeah.
So I'm a little frustrated.
Right.
Facebook took so long to load the comments, but hey, thanks a lot, everybody, and we will do this again sometime soon.
Yeah.
And Nick, any parting words?
Thanks for watching. Buy the book. It's awesome. You won't be able to put it down. I worked really hard. It's really good. You're gonna like it.
He's the most humble person I know, so this really means something.
Yeah.
Please check it out. Thanks very much, everyone.
Bye.
And we're off on Facebook now. Going over to YouTube. All right, Eric, Chaos Knight, goodbye. We're going off of YouTube now.